If you've ever told yourself, I'll start again Monday, or once life calms down, I'll get back into my routine, then this video is for you. I genuinely believe that one of the biggest reasons why people struggle to achieve their goals isn't a lack of motivation or willpower, it's a lack of consistency. Or more specifically, that belief that if you can't do everything perfectly, then there's no point doing anything at all. And it's that classic throwing the baby out with the bathwater mentality, that all or nothing mentality that ends up in nothing. People either go to the gym 5 days a week or not at all. They either stick to a strict diet or they go completely off the rails, or they'll wait for the perfect time to start exercising, meal prepping, or stopping scrolling at night. But here's the thing, life is never perfect. And if your habits only exist when conditions are perfect, they'll disappear the moment life starts lifing. Now, I did a whole deep dive on consistency in another video, which I'll link to below. But today, I wanted to share what I do when life gets in the way of my routines, because the last month has been a perfect example. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Linda Vizzoli, nutritional therapist, health coach, and senior lecturer at the College of Naturopathic Medicine in London. I help women understand their hormones, restore their energy, and feel confident in their bodies again through simple nutrition and lifestyle shifts, which honor our unique female physiology. So let's dive in. Now, life here has been wonderfully busy. In July, I finished my lecturing for the academic year at the College of Naturopathic Medicine. My daughter finished primary school, which honestly, where does the time go? And we had weeks of celebrations marking the end of that specific chapter. And then we welcomed a new member of the family, a little border terrier puppy called Hilda. Now, if you've ever had a puppy, you'll know that they're not dissimilar to having a baby. Life suddenly revolves around nap times, and when they're awake, they need constant supervision so they don't get into trouble. I've been sleeping on the sofa to help her settle and waking up several times a night to reassure her or to take her outside for a toilet break. And because she can't yet be left alone for very long, I've had to spend a lot more time at home. So add in that and the school holidays, my normal routine has gone completely out the window. Now, the old me might have looked at this and thought, well, I can't do my usual routine, so I'll just pause everything until life settles down. The puppy is older, my daughter goes back to school, everything kind of goes back to normal. But after 2 years of building habits, I've realized something really important. The goal is not perfection. The goal is being imperfectly consistent. Because you see, for the last 2 years, I've been working on building muscle and changing my body composition. This has meant creating habits that I've had to repeat consistently. So I meal prep weekly, so I always have food ready to throw into a bowl at meal times. I track my food, not from a place of restriction, but to make sure that I'm actually eating enough. In the spring and the summer months, when it's light out in the morning, I'll go for a sunrise walk every morning and I'll aim for about 10,000 steps every day. And I train hard in the gym 3 times a week, lifting really heavy weights. That's pretty much been my routine for the last 24 months. But over the last month, life has been lifing, as I said, and I simply haven't been able to do all of those things every day. So instead of giving up, I've adapted. And let me show you what that looked like. The first thing I changed was my morning walks. Hilda has decided that 5 a.m. is the perfect time to wake up and absolutely slay the day, which means that I am really tired. Normally, I'd head out at 6 o'clock for a 45-minute walk. Instead, I play with her for a bit and then I'll pop her into a sling and we go for a much shorter walk around the block. Is it the same? No, she's actually a wriggly pup in the sling. Is it better than not walking at all? Absolutely. But hey, sometimes if I've been up multiple times in the night to take her out to the toilet, I will actually crawl back into bed when she has her first nap instead of going out for a morning walk. And then I'll try to get steps in later in the day. And that's okay as well. My second shift has been the gym. So for the first week Hilda was home, I was surviving on very broken sleep while camping out on the sofa. And rather than forcing myself through heavy gym sessions while exhausted, I gave myself permission to take a short break. So instead of going to the gym, I increased my daily steps. Rather than aiming for 10,000, I aimed for 12 to 14,000 steps. I didn't hit those every day, but that was my aim. Then, once she settled and I started sleeping in my own bed again, and I felt a little bit more rested, I returned to the gym. And here's the funny thing, I was actually stronger than before I'd taken the break. So sometimes our bodies actually need recovery more than we realize. Now, the third adaptation has honestly been one of my biggest hacks, and that is meals on repeat. When life gets busy, but I still have goals that I'm working towards, and I'm trying to eat enough to build muscle and create that physique that I'm working towards at 51, trying to cook a huge variety of meals every week is a surefire way to make life harder than it actually needs to be. So I simplify. I eat the same breakfast, the same lunch, the same dinner for most of the week. Yep, you heard me. Meals on repeat are so underrated. They eliminate decision fatigue. I don't have to track 4,000 different foods every day in my food tracker. My shopping becomes easier. Meal prep is really easy, and I stay consistent with my nutrition. Now, during this recent heat wave that we've had in London, breakfast has been things like lots and lots of fruit, coffee with milk and collagen, for example. I've kept it really simple, and I'm actually trialing out having loads more carbs in the morning than protein. Lunch has been things like cottage cheese and fruit, and dinner has been either pasta with bolognese ragu, parmesan and courgettes, or chicken thighs with new potatoes and a Greek salad. Some nights we might have a burger on the grill, and every single night a Ninja creamy ice cream. So good. Now, I often get pushback on this with my clients who say that eating the same thing every day sounds really boring. But here's the thing, keeping things simple has meant that I've stayed on track without spending hours in the kitchen. Plus, I eat delicious meals, which I actually look forward to every day. So that also helps as well. I think the biggest lesson, though, is recognizing that this is simply a season of life. It will pass. And just because I can't execute the exact routine that I've followed for the last 2 years doesn't mean that I should quit altogether. As an example, I was talking to one of my clients recently who told me that she'd stopped exercising. She used to do a 30-minute home workout every other day, but life became busier and she could now only fit in 15 minutes a day. But because she didn't think 15 minutes was enough, she stopped completely. And I said to her, okay, so let's unpack this for a second. So now instead of doing 15 minutes every other day, you're doing 0 minutes. Which do you think is better, 15 minutes every other day or nothing at all? Sometimes we just need to adapt and adjust our routine to fit our current season of life. And that's not failure, that's actually flexibility. And that is what consistency is all about. So if life is feeling busy for you right now, or you're going away on holiday, instead of asking, how do I get back to my perfect routine? Ask yourself, how can I adapt my routine so I can just keep showing up? Because success is not built on perfection. It's built on what my coach Kitty calls consistent, imperfect action. And personally, I think that's one of the most freeing lessons you can learn. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, what's one habit that you've adapted instead of abandoned? I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to go deeper into this work, I do have an online self-led program with group coaching included called the Midlife Reset. And that's designed to guide you step by step. It's my flagship program built from more than a decade of clinical experience working with hundreds of women alongside my teaching work at the College of Naturopathic Medicine. I'll pop some details below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.